was going too, but we roam. Cellular phones, doc meth, back in the flesh. I walk around the street with the black tech 9 by the waistline. I'll show you what type of stuff I'm on. You can't puff or slip it because I was born with calling a man when the party is boring. I had these hoes stripping till it's part of the morning.
Let's talk about Redman, the lyrical wild child of hip-hop. The weed-smoking, joke-cracking, punchline king who turned grime and grind into gold. If you know rap, you know Redman. He's that dude who came in loud, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically himself. He didn't need a polished image or flashy gimmicks. The bars spoke for themselves. Reggie Noble, aka Redman, was born on April 17, 1970, in Newark, New Jersey. That's right. Jersey stands up. This wasn't a silver spoon story. Reggie came from the trenches. His family struggled, and by the time he was a teenager, he was already on a different path. Kicked out of Montclair State University at just 16 due to poor academic performance and bad behavior, he found himself hustling in the streets, selling drugs, DJing at parties, spinning beats under the name DJ Cut Killa, you name it. Redman was grinding. The hustle was real, but so was the talent. See, Reggie always had bars. Freestyling came naturally. His wit was razor sharp, and he had this gritty charisma that just couldn't be taught. And that's what caught the attention of Eric Sermon of EPMD. When Eric discovered Redman in the early 90s, it was game over. He invited him on tour and threw him on tracks like Hardcore and Brothers on My Jock. Suddenly, people were like, yo, who is this wild dude spittin' fire with crazy energy? Then boom, 1992 hits, and Redman drops his debut album, What? The Album. And it was a masterpiece of madness. A beautiful blend of East Coast grit, funky beats, and hilarious storytelling. Time for some action. Tonight's the night. Blow your mind. Instant classics. Redman wasn't just rapping, he was performing. His flow, untouchable. His energy, nuclear. And that rugged, grimy sound, that became his signature. Critics were shocked. Fans couldn't get enough. The album went gold, and Redman, he was officially on the map. But baby, he wasn't even warmed up yet. Redman followed up with There Is a Dark Side in 1994. Now let me tell you, this album was a trip. He recorded it during a time of heavy drug use, and the sound was straight-up psychedelic chaos. Dark, intense, and a little unhinged, but in the best way possible. Tracks like Rockefeller and Can't Wait showed off his lyrical acrobatics, while the whole album screamed originality. He wasn't trying to be like anyone else, and he damn sure wasn't following trends. Redman made his own lane. By the time Muddy Waters dropped in 1996, it was clear Redman was hip-hop royalty. That album is still a fan favorite. It had bangers like Whatever Man, It's Like That, My Big Brother, and Pick It Up. His punchlines were sharper than ever, his flows smoother, and the beats? Funky, grimy gold. Redman had found his groove and he was swimming in it. Muddy Waters was so iconic that fans and Red himself often cite it as the definitive Redman album. To this day, he's teased a follow-up Muddy Waters 2 as a sequel, and let's just say the anticipation is real. But here's where it gets really juicy. Enter Method Man. Now, you know when two real ones link up, it's over. The chemistry between Redman and Meth? Legendary. They were like the Batman and Robin of rap, except both of them were Batman. They dropped Blackout in 1999, and it was straight flames. Da Rock Wilder became an anthem. The whole album a must-have. And fans weren't just bumping the music, they were vibing with their personalities. Red and Meth weren't just rappers, they were entertainers. That's why Hollywood came calling. How High hit theaters in 2001, and baby, that movie became a cult classic overnight. Stoner comedy gold.
Yeah, I figured if I study high, take the test high, get high scores. Right? Right.
Redman and Method Man were hilarious, high, and hella relatable. It showed a whole new side of Redman. Funny, charming, and wildly unpredictable. Fans loved it. And yeah, it wasn't winning Oscars, but it was winning hearts. And guess what? After years of rumors and begging from fans, a sequel, How High 2, finally dropped in 2019. But here's the kicker. Red and Meth weren't in it. That sparked major controversy, with fans saying the movie lost its soul without them.
Right now, with a straight face after we just smoked a pound in the back of your Benz the other night.
Redman himself confirmed that creative differences with Universal kept them out of the film. A whole mess. But let's not get it twisted. Redman wasn't all laughs and weed smoke. He had his share of drama too. There were whispers about his drug use, especially during that There Is a Dark Side era. He's admitted himself he was in a dark place back then. It affected his relationships, his focus, and his output. And then there was the beef. Nothing too wild, but Redman never bit his tongue. If he had an issue, he aired it out, usually with a bar or two. He wasn't here for industry politics and wasn't afraid to call BS when he saw it. And can we talk about his house tour? Listen, in the early 2000s, MTV Cribs pulled up to Redman's crib expecting mansions and Bentleys. What did they get? A humble, messy, regular New Jersey home with wires hanging out the wall and a doorbell that didn't even work. And fans loved it. It was so real, so raw, so Redman. No cap, that episode is still one of the most iconic Cribs moments ever. He showed the world that not every rapper is living in a palace, and that he was still the same dude from the block. In fact, Redman later revealed that MTV offered to rent a nicer house to fit the image, and he straight up refused. That's the kind of integrity you can't fake. He even said he purposely kept the house messy to keep it 100 with the fans. Who does that? Redman. As the 2000s rolled on, the spotlight started dimming a bit. Music trends shifted. The new wave came in. Redman wasn't dominating the charts like he used to, but here's the gag: he never stopped. He kept dropping music, doing features, performing, and staying active. Albums like Red Gone Wild and Mudface didn't chart like the old days, but they showed he still had bars for days. Redman was never chasing trends. He was preserving the culture. He also dropped 3 joints in 2020, an EP that had fans buzzing again. Even in his 50s, the man's pen game is still lethal. He also became a serious businessman quietly behind the scenes. He launched Gilla House Records, mentored new artists, and stayed knee-deep in the business side of things. He stayed true to himself, and that's rare in an industry that's all about reinvention and clout. Redman even stepped into the cannabis industry, getting involved in branding and advocacy. He's partnered with the National Cannabis Party and has been vocal about legalization and responsible use. Imagine that Redman went from weed punchlines to weed policy. Wild. In 2021, Redman had fans hype all over again when he went toe-to-toe with Method Man in a Versus battle. And let me tell you, it wasn't just a concert, it was a celebration. A whole vibe. Bars, jokes, stories, and that electric chemistry that never faded. People were reminded all over again why Redman is such a treasured figure in hip-hop. So where is he now? Still working, still performing, still funny as hell. Redman is active on social media, constantly engaging with fans, and still smoking that loud like it's 1994. But here's a twist. Redman is also a licensed skydiver. Yes, you heard that right. He took up skydiving as a hobby and even got certified. From the stage to the sky, the man's got layers. And don't forget, he made his debut on the Starz hit series Power Book 2, Ghost in 2022, playing Theo Rollins, the brother of Method Man's character. Fans were screaming over that real-life connection being brought into the fictional world. Legendary move. He's also gotten involved in health and wellness, believe it or not. The man is pushing fitness and clean eating, all while still being the weed-loving, mic-ripping icon we know and love. Talk about duality. In fact, he's been spotted in workout challenges and even posted plant-based meal prep videos. From munchies to meal plans, only Redman could pull that off. And let's not skip that net worth tea. As of now, Redman's estimated net worth sits around $10 million. Not too shabby for a dude who came from the dirt, turned pain into punchlines, and carved out one of the most authentic careers in hip-hop history. He never needed to fake the funk. Redman was funk.